So I want to start by talking about before we get into talking about your upcoming fight stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about the PFL Paris card from this
Yeah,
last weekend. Because one of the things that stood out to me the most is for ages I kept hearing your name. People were talking about you, and it was kind of like a steady thing of like, okay, we'll see how this builds over time. And then
yeah,
since the PFL Europe, which I would say it's pretty obvious at this point that you are one of the faces of, it feels like it's gone so fast, like so quick. And I know
yeah.
that you posted something similar about being at that Paris card, like from where you were to now being here, and you're attending these events and stuff, and getting all this love from the fans, but also the higher ups in the PFL, all that stuff. Like, how has this year been for you, man? Because it feels from the outside looking in that it has
Yeah.
skyrocketed.
Mate, it's literally just changing like that. Like literally, I'm not even in a way, I haven't seen shit yet, in a way. Do you know what I mean? I've not seen anything yet. And just the fact that my life is just changing so rapidly. I'm just a kid from a council estate. Like I never thought I'd have anything like this. I never thought I'd see anything like this. I'm there eating croissants in front of like the Eiffel Tower and the Arc and that, and then I'm there in Germany having fights with Russians, and then I'm getting nice money and then getting like good things what finally happened to me I never thought would ever happen, and it's just crazy.
It must have been also a great experience like that. From the outside looking in, that PFL Paris card seemed to like, I don't know, it just seemed to go up another level. It seems like the eyes on the PFL Europe and everything like that, the just the buzz around that event, it just everything went up another level. So for you to be one of the faces of PFL Europe, that buzz to be around it must have been something. And I'm sure for you as well, it must have been interesting to get an up close look at the bantamweight semi-finals that happened on that night as well. Like, how was it just taking in the whole event?
I'm just I'm sitting there just watching the whole event as well. I like watching fighters like Dylan Tuke and that. I like him. We all like a bit of crazy. I understand Dylan Tuke. And then I'm watching the bantamweights and I'm seeing them, and then I'm watching that Cedric Dunbar, that his name, and that crowd was heavy. That was probably like up there with best crowd I've ever seen. Like if not Bellator Ireland when Peter Creeley fought, I was there when he was. I was on there, and that was up there. But the crowd, the fights were great. But I just felt they missed out one thing, and that was me fighting on there, knocking someone out. Do you know what I mean? But we'll move on to that one we're in for Dublin, eh?
Was there ever any plans to get you on this card, or was Dublin? It seemed like you were always going to be on the Dublin card, but I feel like maybe there could have been room for another fight in there. Was that ever a talking point?
I thought about it, but then I feel like there's still room. There's still like I need to improve. I need to take my time and get some stuff into my game. Plus, I broke my arm, didn't I? I broke my arm. It's still in healing progress right now. I got three stress fractures on my elbow, and the elbow snapped itself. So I need to get healing on that, and I don't think I could have got on that card. But there was always a possibility I could have got on the card on short notice, if you know what I mean. But it's all about steady takes and getting the right fights, and then at the right time when I'm perfectly ready.
I mentioned the bantamweight tournament that's obviously going down. The finals will be in Dublin. I don't know. Have the PFL ever said to you about kind of the long term plans? Because it always seemed like you would have a few fights this year whilst the tournament happens, and then the presumption from everyone would be that you would then go into the tournament next year. Like, has there been that kind of that communication between you and the PFL, or is it just like taking it fight by fight at the moment?
Yeah, of course. Maybe next year. What I was saying, maybe I'll definitely want 100 bags in my bank. And I'm thinking about that. And even like the semi finals, I could have stepped in. I could have stepped in if I was 100% ready for my arm and stuff. These fights are no joke, though, and I know this, but I know I can beat these guys. I've watched them, and I'm like, I don't see anything in their game besides they can hit hard and they're a little bit tough. That's all. That's all it is. But that's a fight end of the day, and it's the PFL, and I know this. But I know for a fact I can beat these guys, and I'm seeing these guys, and don't get me wrong. I want to get in there and have a taste. I want their blood on my gloves in the day, and I would love to have a go and crack at him. You know what? Some of the fighters though, like they're pretty sound mate in person. Like, do you know what I mean? But like nothing personal, or it is personal to me. It's just I want to have a fight end of the day, and but I'm ready for whatever comes. And if anyone pulls out for the final, I will step in. I will step in, and I know for a fact, yeah, they would want me in the final. Like I am marketable in a way, and I have got this persona to me, and the Irish will love me. Like Do you know what I mean? And I'm half Irish. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that would go down incredibly well. I'm sure if they return to Dublin next year as well, I feel like you fighting on those cards just makes so much sense. Um, this is a question I'm sure you've been asked many times throughout your career, and I'm sure you will be asked it hundreds of times more throughout. But as this is the first time that I've spoken to you, where does the confidence come from? Because I remember seeing Dan Hardy talk about your performance earlier this year, and he compared it to seeing McGregor. I believe it was the Brandao fight in Dublin, is what
Yeah,
he referenced. Like the way you just, I don't know, your style is so commanding in there, but also,
thank you.
that it isn't something that just clicks. It feels like something that like you live and breathe by that when you're not in a fight. Like, where does that come from?
Just my presence, I guess. I just feel like when I'm in there, man, I change me. I'm a dark person in there, man. Like, and I've just gotten to this point now where I know if I land on any man, I I will I will do serious damage to him. And I got that in the bank, and I've got this skill set, and I know I've got something about me what people they've not seen before. And I feel like my gym and about how my coach Carl Prince works me and understands me, I know what I can do with that. As long as I stay dedicated and train hard and do my thing and get my head down, the world can be my oyster. And I'm just looking, like I say, I look at these guys and they're all average. They're all average to me. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I have something in my bank. It might not even come around this year or whatever's going to happen. I will lose fights in the future. It's going to happen. I know this, or it probably won't. Touch wood if it don't. But I just know there's something about me to anyone else. Do you get me?
Yeah, that I think that the next thing I wanted to go on to, which I feel like is a good transition point, is the proper 12 sponsorship, because that blew my mind seeing that, and I think that exactly what you just said is what they would have seen as like it doesn't come across when people get hype in MMA, there's always the worry of like what will a loss do to their confidence and stuff. And it's always seemed to me like with yourself that I mean, you just said it. You expect, there's going to be tough times as well as all the best times and stuff like that. Which is when I had a conversation about the proper 12 thing, it was like it doesn't make sense because no one could have predicted it, but it makes sense in another way because it feels like, your career is just getting started in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. How did that first come around and what was your reaction to like those early kind of talks about it happening? Because it's a pretty it's a crazy thing to see, man.
The proper 12, yeah. Basically, I like it was weird, like I manifested it, mate. It's like I
Yeah.
manifested it, like I swear down, yeah. I had a bit of like an epiphany and a bit of a dream about it. Like, yo, I'll get proper 12 one day. And then I swear down, you've seen the voice now, haven't you, where I said to me mates on a group chat, and oh watch this, I'm gonna manifest this now. I'm gonna bang my man out on the proper 12 canvas and I'm gonna get a sponsor. And I swear down, it happened. It happened, it was a madness. I think right, yeah, as well, yeah. When I went to PFL Newcastle. I wasn't headlining shit. It was about Simeon Dakota and a few in the tournament. I was in the tournament, signed a little bit too late, and then literally I'm coming through it and I'm just being me. Oh, and everyone's like, "Ooh." Some of the Americans or some of the guys, the PFL, who probably never heard of me, were like, "Who is this crazy ginger kid? Who is this guy in it? He's terrorizing the thing. He's a bit of he's a bit mad." And I'm just like, I'm not even putting it on. I'm genuinely just being me, being a bit wild. And then they're loving me in that. And then I'm there going out. Then when I come out, yeah, the crowd was, I domed it. That crowd was for me. It wasn't for anyone else. It was for me. They were chanting my name and everything, and they loved me. And because the UK know who I am, I was
Mm.
selling out of the events on regional shows, them small regional shows. I was blowing the roof off. And then I brought that in Newcastle, and the presidents came and they seen who Lewis McGrillen is. And obviously, when I knocked him out on the canvas, as I predicted, I'm like, yo, I swear down, it's like I'm living in a simulation, mate. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a sponsor, and they're like, yo, we'll sign this kid for a sponsorship, and it came, and it happened. It happened. It's just crazy. Do you know what I mean?
It is crazy. Honestly, the amount of times that I have accidentally called that event PFL Manchester because that's what it felt like. Like I've forgotten so many times. Also, I think that your nickname McGrizzler is one of my favorite nicknames in MMA. It
Thank
suits
you.
you
Yeah.
so well. But if you didn't already have a perfect one, proper 12 gauge would be signed, sealed, delivered. Like,
I'm very good at, I can't lie, I'm very good at shooting guns, you know. So that'll be mixed. I've shot 12 gauge shotguns as well, but like I'm good with air rifles and stuff like that. So that's a good shout, that 12 gauge McGrizzler, 12 gauge McGrillen. That's a good shout, that.
that's a shame
I
you've
like
already
that.
got a brilliant one, but you know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not a bad problem to have. The final thing that we should chat about, because we mentioned it before we started recording. I remember seeing you put a post up that hinted that you were going to be starting a podcast, and I was like, oh, keep an eye out for it. And then when you joined the call, I was like, oh, maybe I've missed it or something because he's already got everything set up.
Yeah.
Tell me the crazy story of why
Yeah.
your podcast hasn't started yet.
So basically, I'm about to get all my podcast set up and all this, and then I'm waiting for all my stuff to come. And I swear down, mate, they brought me this, like one headset, none of my other headsets, none of my microphones, none of any of that, yeah. Then they bring like the recording stuff and all that, and I'm like, where is it? So I started speakers and said they'll bring it me another day. They didn't bring it me, right? Next minute, yeah, the last day, yeah, with the rest of my stuff coming, yeah, they give me a backpack, bro. They give me a backpack, yeah. And literally, I was like, why a backpack? Like, where's all my stuff in it? And then I chased them up, started speaking to them. Like, I don't know. The guys, I don't know. So now they owe me £1,100. They owe me a quid. Amazon. I swear down, I spent a quid in here and they're not even giving me money back. And I can't exactly just dash out a quid here and there. Do you know what I mean? And I got a house to pay for and that. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, what the hell? But yeah, that's postponed at the moment. And then I'm doing my driving fair. I passed my driving fair today. I'm very happy with that.
Oh, nice one, man.
Yeah, buzzing with that. Thank you. And then I'm entering fight camp now. And there's bigger things to worry about than me chatting shit on the mic. I got to prepare to punch someone up in Dublin.
Well, either way, mate, it might be delayed until the new year, but I'm excited to see it because
Yeah,
I'm sure you're going to have
thank
a
you.
lot to say about a lot of these bantamweights that are out there, and it's going to be good fun.
Yeah.
Mate, massively appreciate your time. Can't wait for the return in Dublin. I'm sure that place is going to go crazy for that fight. So, yeah, good stuff, man. Like I said, thank you for your time.
Nah, thank you, mate. Anytime, yeah. Have a good day.
You too, mate. Catch you later.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.